Hey everybody, welcome to Rock the Rip. And today we are going to be focusing on some singer-songwriter songs that I think you're going to like. And we're going to be focusing on some specific tools and tips that you can use inside these songs. Now, to set up kind of how this class works, this is not necessarily a vocal technique class. It's a pop rock style class. So what I want to be clear on is that I'm not trying to we're not trying to recreate, make you another Joni Mitchell or another Sara Bareilles or another Camila Cabello, because we have them. We want you and your individual, interesting, unique sound. But there are certain tools that are used inside certain styles that you can apply across genres. And so there are some songs that lend themselves to these tools better than others. And so that's what we're going to play with today. And I've got a couple of whalers here with me who I'm going to bring on screen, and they're going to demonstrate or help demonstrate a couple of these tools as we work through it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the two types of sounds. Now, if you were to go through and listen, and I'm not going to play examples mainly because, you know, of copyright laws and the YouTube gremlins who will come through and like mute it. So I'm just going to tell you, if you were to go listen to Joni Mitchell versus like a Sara Bareilles, there are going to be some similarities and there are going to be some differences. And one of the main similarities and differences is going to be in what we would call the vocal fold closure. Okay, so modern singer-songwriters will use a little more breathiness in their sound than singer-songwriters of like the 70s. So what we're going to work with first are two techniques to help you access these two different types of styles. Okay, so the first one we're going to do, and this is all in how you start the sound, because how you start it will lead you into the rest of it, if that makes sense. Sort of like if you set yourself up at the beginning, it'll take you into the quality that you're looking for. So we're going to use two consonants to help set us up. We're going to use an H and we're going to use a Y. The H is going to lead us into what we would consider breathiness. So I just want you to sing with me right here. You're going to start with an H, and I literally want you to think I am like fogging up my window to clean it. So just do that real quick. Give me a fogging up the window sound just from wherever you're watching. I'm just cleaning the window. Okay, do it again. Okay, now you're going to take that same H and you're going to put an E behind it. I'm going to choose a random pitch. You can choose any pitch you want. So now I'm going to take that H and I'm going to lean into an E. He. Now, here's the deal. When I open to that H, I'm going to feel an openness here. That openness is what I'm trying to hang on to when I extend the sound. Think of it like doors that are closed or open. We want to keep these doors partially cracked. Now here's the deal. You're going to run out of air real fast. That's normal. Because if you listen to some of your favorite singer-songwriters that like to use breathiness in their sound, that's why they're breathing in weird places in the middle of their phrases, because they're offloading a ton of air. And you have to breathe in weird places when you do that. So don't be surprised if you run out of air quickly when you're using this. So do it again. Try another vowel. Give me a ha. Ha. Ho. Ho. And who. Who. Okay. Now you're going to start with a Y. And now I want you to close the doors, but we don't want to slam the doors. We just want to lightly close the doors, like you're closing a refrigerator door. Okay, and a little bit of suction that happens there. So now you're going to say ye, and you're going to think keep it closed. Ye, yeah, yo, you. Now, the key with this and with what we're going to work with today is I want you to keep that super light. You don't want it to go into yee. Okay, super light. So how light can you go with that and it not go or miss out on you? And it may miss out on you a couple times where you're experimenting. Totally normal. By the way, rule of thumb when we're working, weird is wonderful, pain is a problem. So you may experience weird sensations and cracks and bumps and things along the way. As long as it doesn't hurt, we're good. If it starts to become painful in any way, shape, or form, I want you to stop and just give me a comment or message me here and we'll talk about that. Okay, so let's do it again. So you're gonna to the lightest you can go on that E. E, yeah, you. Now go back to your he. Now we're going to alternate. You're going to go he and then ye. He, ye, ha, ya, ho, yo, hu, you. Okay. Catherine, can I bring you on screen to play with that with me a little bit? Everybody, welcome Catherine.
Hello.
Okay, so let's practice with that. You can choose any pitch you want, and I want you to give me the H into the E and then the Y into the E.
He.
Keep going now. Give me ha.
Okay. Ha. Yeah.
Good. Notice when it wants to open towards the end.
Yeah.
And just think like it comes off, but it doesn't. There's no air that comes back in at the end. It just dissipates. You think
Okay.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. You and ho and yo.
Ho. Yo.
Good. Now, right in front of that was a teeny tiny E before that Y, yo, which will make it a little thicker. So see if you can let go of that baby E that was in front of it and go into yo, almost like yo.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I hear it.
You hear it?
Yeah. Yo. Yo.
Try it on. You're doing great. Try it on a tiny, maybe a baby N before the Y. Yo, so that E, we're just trying to get that E to kind of let go.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yo.
Okay. Now can you go back to the yo without the N and keep that same sensation?
Yo.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah. If you were to describe to another singer, you were teaching this to somebody else, how would you describe the sensory difference between the two? You go from the breathy to the closed.
Oh, sorry. Say it again. I was thinking about the difference between the E.
So the difference in the sensation between he versus he. Like if you describe, I know that feels to me, I say doors, but I'm curious of what that feels like to you because we all have different sensory experiences. So like, how would you describe the shift?
I would say that I feel like the Y sound goes a little higher. Like I can feel the air kind of here, right? Just not my muscles, but just the air. You know, I don't know how to describe it. And then he is kind of more up here.
Okay.
I feel like
there's no wrong answer to this question. That's why I'm
like my tongue lift or something for the U more than the H.
Yeah, was great. So and the reason I asked that is I want everybody who's watching to understand, like, there is no, when it comes to doing these tools and using these tools, there is no right answer for your sensory perception. It's more like, okay, I've got the sound. What does that feel like to me so that later on I can replicate it? So thank you, Catherine. Okay, let me bring, so now we're going to apply that. So we're going to apply that. When I told you there's two different sounds, So let's take a look at like the beginning of Case of You. So these coachings we're going to do later on, the 3 songs we're going to look at. And we're going to talk about a couple pieces of these. Now, if you guys want to stick around for the coachings later, or you want access to the coachings, make sure that you email me, because I'll send you access to that, but we're going to end the stream before the coaching. So giving you the techniques here. If you want to see the one-to-one coachings, you'll have to email me for those. Okay. So we're going to start first with, let's say I wanted the beginning of Sara Bareilles' Gravity. I was like, what is the song that we're doing? Gravity. So I'm going to go, you love me because I'm fragile. So I want you to practice this with me, because you got 2 options here. Again, we're not trying to recreate Sara Bareilles. We are just using some tools that are in here to see like, oh, I can play with different ways. So let's say we wanted to do it more breathy. So we're going to sing that on he, and we're going to try to keep those doors open. Just the phrase, you love me because I'm fragile. Just that. So it's going to go like this. He. Now I'm going to take that sensation that I feel, and I'm going to try to put the words on that. You love me because I'm fragile. You love me because I'm fragile. Okay, now I'm going to put the Y on there, and I'm going to keep the doors lightly closed. You love me because I'm fragile. Hear the difference? I can create 2 completely different sounds with just how I started. Amy, can I bring you on and we play with that a little bit? Okay, so let's do just that phrase, you love me because I'm fragile, or fragile, or however you want to say it. I can't remember how she says it, fragile. Anyway, so do it first with the H-E-E, and keep those doors open as long as you can.
You love me because I'm fragile.
Good. Yeah, now give me the closed doors on you love me because I'm fragile.
Okay. You love me because I'm fragile. Still a bit of air.
That's hard. Yeah, it's hard. This is another thing for everybody watching. Our voices are going to have things that they like to do and go easily into. So don't be surprised if there's one that's like super like comes to you easily, and then the other one's like, oh, that feels. So it's really just creating 2 separate sensations. So let's go back to that ye real quick. And I want you to imagine that you're in a pool and that you're underwater, and that you've opened your mouth, and it is just enough that you're closing those doors so that you don't swallow water. Does that make sense? So get that sensation. So imagine, so let's go there first. So go underwater visually. Now open the mouth and do what you would have to do to make sure you didn't swallow water.
Okay.
Do you feel that? Okay. So now I want you to try to build off of that feeling to get into ye. Better. Give me even more in that yeah. So can you say really lean to the Y. Ye. Like actually put an N in front of that Y for me. Okay, so that took it to more closure. So maybe putting a baby in front of that actually helps get that there. So if you were to describe that sensation to somebody else, how would you describe it?
Oh, I would say closed feels smoother. It feels like there's one track.
Yeah.
Whereas breathy is very open. Yeah.
I like that. I hadn't really thought about that before. Yes. So closed. And by the way, there is an entire training that calls this the smooth onset. Estral training calls it that. So that's interesting that's the word it feels smooth. So yeah. So it feels nice and glidey. I think of like the sensation of running my hand over the top of water, or like ice skating, like just sliding across
or skiing even. It is very
anything that's that nice even, and it's a continuous motion. Yeah, where he feels wide open. Great, cool. All right. Thank you, Amy. I'm going to bring you back up again shortly. Okay, so those are the first two things that you can play with. Now, if you go back and listen to A Case of You, Joni's going to be on if you go back and listen to the recording, she goes to breathiness, but not often at all. Matter of fact, it's far more closed. So using breathiness in singing is a more modern technique. Okay. So now let's talk about the second thing. So we're going to build on that, and that sensation of what we were talking about with the smooth, of the gliding, of the ease. That's actually, when we talk about quiet belt, that's kind of the sensation that we're looking for. Only we're taking it up higher. And we're making it a little whinier. No, that's not fair. Okay, Catherine, I'm going to bring you on. Let's play a little bit let's whine together a little bit.
Okay.
So can you give me that light glidey feeling and then add a little bit of whimper to it? No.
No.
Yeah. Do that again.
That's the best I've
I
ever
know, it feels weird, but do it again.
No.
Yeah. Now, what if you just turn that into a pitch? So now we got no. What if it's no?
No.
Yeah, which feels completely different than no, right?
Very, very.
Yeah. So give me one that's more like classical. No.
No.
Now give me the whiny one. No.
No.
If you were to describe the two sensations and the shifts, how would you describe it to somebody else?
I like the description of smooth, like it's more directed and smooth, and the other one is more, I don't know, it fills a bigger space. It's like more diffuse, I guess.
No, yes, I would say, and I love that you said it feels like it fills a bigger space, because like that's a lot of times that's my perception too when I'm working on whether or not I want something. To be clear, if you ask 30 different voice teachers to describe belt, we're all going to describe it 30 different ways. But I will say this, that everybody pretty much agrees that it's a speech quality to a certain extent in it. And what I find is what you're saying is like the lesser the speech quality, the more space I feel, the more of a speech quality, the less space I feel. And that's not there's many more layers to it than that. I'm not oversimplifying it, but that is sort of like the launch point. So thank you for demonstrating that.
Yeah.
And so what that's good for is like, we want that on something like that phrase, which by the way, that phrase on gravity of keeping me down, man, I worked with that one. I'm working with that one. I'm working with that one. That hitting the note is not the issue, but my goodness, that breath support that she's got on that down, that's going to take me a little while. It's tough. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I went to listen because if I hear something that's like what I feel like is difficult, I will go listen and be like, okay, is that something they were just able to do in the studio? Or is that something that they did live? And I went and listened. She does that live as well. That nice long breath live. Now, so here, my asthma not letting me do it today, but I am going to show you how to get up there. I may not be able to hold it the whole way out, but I'll show you how to get up there. So we're going to use that whine that we just did, and we're going to use it on the word keeping me down, that phrase. One thing I still know is that you keeping me. And then you're going to go to the baby tiny smooth whining. Baby tiny smooth whining. Let me put that on a hashtag. Baby tiny smooth whining. Keeping me down. Okay, so it's really the tiny and whiny. Keeping me down. That feels so teeny tiny baby whiny to me. All right, so Amy, I want to bring you on. You want to play with that? Okay, so let's do the teeny tiny baby whiny.
Okay.
So keeping me down. Yeah. Let's give it a roll. Let me see where it is.
Okay. Can I get the note again?
Keeping me down. If you just want to go down, you can just start there.
Keeping me down.
I love that. Now this is, Amy, this is where I'll say I'm going to play with you on this for a little bit, but I would say that 100% is great. I don't know that I would change a thing, but just for the sake of playing and letting people who are watching see how we can alter things if we want to, we're going to play with that a little bit. But that sounded great. So let's say we wanted that a little more pingy. Okay, I just want a little more ping. I want a little more bite. I want a little more of that in it. So can you put an N in front of that D? Keeping me down. And before you do that, I want you to tap your nose for me. We're just gonna draw all of our attention to the T zone. Okay. Now, can you give me keeping me down and with the tiny baby whiny?
Keeping me down.
Okay, how'd that feel?
More forward.
Okay. Now, can you make it more puppy whimper? Whine at me more. Down, you're keeping me down. That's not fair.
Yay. Keeping me down. I'm losing the key again.
Okay,
Shanna.
okay.
Thank you.
You're fine. Keeping me down.
Keeping me down.
Ooh.
That was a different place.
Oh, yeah. How'd that feel?
Yeah. Good.
So so as we said, both are viable options. Both are beautiful sounds. Both are lovely. If you were to describe to somebody else what the sensory shift was between the first and the second one, if you were like, today I want to choose this one, tomorrow I want to choose this one, what did you feel as the biggest adjustment to do that?
So one was definitely brighter. It felt more forward. Definitely more in that mix quality rather than the full-on belt.
Okay. And then was that the second one or the first one for you?
The second
one. And then how would you describe the first one comparatively?
The first one felt more open. It felt like there was more room, more breath in there. It didn't feel as narrow as the second. That felt more of that gliding sensation.
Great. Nicely done. All right. I want to put you back in the waiting room. Catherine, you want to give that a whirl? All right, let's try it. So this is why we love group class stuff, because you just heard all the stuff. So now I want you to take and apply, see what happens, and then we'll work from there.
Okay.
Keeping
me down.
Nice. How'd that feel?
Good. I'm trying to put it more forward. It keeps wanting to kind of fall back. But I think tall and forward, it kind of is working a little bit better. But I don't know if it has that soft quality.
Yeah. So let's put something kinesthetic behind it. So I want you to start from here. Keeping me. And then when you do that, I want you to literally bring your hands forward on down. Keeping me down. And I want you to imagine your voice following your fingers.
Okay. Keeping me. I forget the note.
Keeping me down.
Keeping me down.
How did that feel?
good. It felt more, I would say, uh, stable, but I can tell my voice needs to like settle into it because it kind of wanted to wobble a little in
Yeah.
there.
And guys, and just thank you for sharing that, Catherine, because what I want to say to everybody watching this is that's normal too. Like when you're asking, so we have the place the muscles want to normally go, or like structure wants to normally go. So it's 100% normal that there's going to be like a couple times of like instability because it's fighting against, or it's going to a new pattern from an old. So let's actually, usually what I find in the studio, and so let's see if this is the case here, is that usually when we're trying to retrain a shape or get the voice to do something different, usually third time's the charm. So it's like the voice needs a couple times to try it. And then the third time, it's like the body goes, oh, I see what you're trying to do. Here we go. So let's do 2 more of those and see what happens by the third time. So
Okay.
keeping me down.
Keeping me down.
Do it one more time.
Keeping me down.
Okay. How did that feel the third time?
Felt good. Felt good. Yeah. I think I'm doing a little bit of editing in my head, or judging in my head. But yeah, felt good.
Okay. So let's throw it on. So let's dip just for a second over into, and I know because you're with us in the audition prep class. So let's dip just for a second over into a completely non-vocal technique, just so everybody sees how that works.
Okay.
And I want you to see your other, nail them to the wall with the phrase. Use the hands, but nail them to the wall so that we have a task that we're not hearing ourselves sing. We're doing the thing. Nail them to the wall.
Okay.
With that.
Can you give me the note again?
Yeah, sure. Keeping me.
Sorry, hold on. I'll see my other.
Yeah, really see them.
Keeping me down.
Yes.
That felt so much easier.
Yeah. Because as DJ tells us, you were focused on a task. So
Yeah.
then, and for everybody watching, this is what we just did was very lightly dipped into a whole other class that we have, which is a song interrupt class. But the main thrust of that class is that the brain has a really hard time doing 2 things at once. So if you're a singer that tends to, and we all are, especially if we're working technique, we're listening to ourselves do the technique, and there can come a time when listening to yourself do the technique can actually in some ways work against you. So we have to kind of release that. And one of the ways that we can do that is by creating an other and a scene and have a task to do. So the brain is on that task and the muscles can do the technique without us listening to it. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great, and Catherine, nicely done. DJ will be very proud. I'll drive back with this place. Great.
Thank you.
Good job. Yeah. Okay. So we've talked, we talked about the onsets. We've talked about the quiet belt. And so the other thing I said was, we're just going to talk about the Joni Mitchell sound. So really, it's if you listen, particularly on Case of You, again, I would encourage you to go listen to this after. Go listen to Case of You after this. There is, like I said, she rarely on that song particularly goes to at least the section that we're going to work when we're done here. She rarely goes to a breathy place, but she does shift qualities. So you'll hear some flips and things in there, but it's more from a place of fuller at the bottom, thinner at the top. Okay, at least that's how I would describe it. So let's get us in the key, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. And so with what we want to do with this is work on filling out the bottom and having a fuller bottom and moving to a thinner top. So let me play a little of this here for us. This is where we'll see if the audio will play nicely. All right. Well, I'll have to tell me if this sounds. Oh, I'm a lonely painter. I live in a box of paints. I'm frightened by the devil. How's the sound on that? We good? Cool. Okay, so what I want you to look at is at the bottom, I want you to use something that's going to take you to a little bit of a fuller place. So we're going to go to an ah on the bottom. So we're going to do on da, we're going to do it on da, and then we're going to move up on the higher parts to a new. But we're going to purse the lips with the new. It's not going to be new, new. Okay. So you have two options. We're going to map this. We're going to Joni map this. So it's going to be a da on the bottom and a new on the top. I'll demonstrate for you. Okay. Here's what I mean, and you can sing along. Da 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 these up here. Okay, so here's the thing. I was doing that on the fly. I'm not going to send you that. I'm not going to be like, okay, so it's do here and it's na here, or da here and it's new here and it's da here and it's new here. That's how it works. It's really more like, I want this to sound floatier. I want this to sound speakier. And I let my voice tell me where it wants to go. And then I just use those two shapes to do it. So now let me show you what I mean by that. And then I'll have one of our ladies here demonstrate. And then we're going to say goodbye to all of you guys watching the live stream. Although you can get the individual coaching, so you just have to email me so that I can send them to you. But I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to map this, just the chorus. You're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. And then I'm going to put the words inside the map I created. Okay. So for example, so if I were to come back with the words now and put them in that pocket, you're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. Now, maybe I don't want it to be that much of a difference. Okay. So maybe I may want to make a shift a little sooner. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. So I can choose where I want that shift to happen. Do one more option. You're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. There's a million different ways to do it, depending on which way you want to go. Oh, I could drink. So say I wanted to go floaty at the top there. Oh, new, da, new, da, new, new, new. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling. Okay, so let's bring Amy, come on with me and let's play with that for a second. So I want you just to map your new and your da. And you don't have to use that. You can just do that one little spot right there. We'll do tracks when we go to the one-on-one coachings. So and see what we get. Okay, now take that map you created, and now let's put some words off of that map.
Okay. You're in my black holy water. You taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I would drink a case of you, darling.
How did that feel?
Good. It's an interesting sensation to try and be in those pockets.
Yeah. So let's say, just for the sake of fun, go somewhere completely different. Use those shapes, but like put them in a weird place that you might not normally put them.
Okay. Do you want me to map it first?
Actually, no. I want you to this time, just for kicks. Let's just do it on the fly.
Okay. You're in my black holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I would drink a case of you, darling.
Okay, nice little flip in there.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was cool. It was heavier. I tried to flip what I would usually do, and
And what's interesting is when you flipped it, it flipped in a cool way.
Yeah.
Which is something I think I mentioned. I was like, oh yeah, I told y'all I told y'all we would do flips in this. So let's talk for just a second about flips. So here's my flip exercise, guys. And it's really going between the two sensations that we've been working on today, open and close. Hee-haw. So like if you can make a donkey sound, you can flip. Hee-haw. Literally. Okay, Amy, let's try this. So can you give me like, hee-haw.
Yeah.
And really so the thing with the flip is you have to just allow the break to happen. And it's going to feel like a loss of control. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now make the top even more breathy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm telling you, it feels really strange. It feels really uncomfortable. It feels like I don't have control of my voice. But then once you do it a few times, then that will become a new sensation. And it'll be like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I've got control of that. Yeah? Cool. Nicely done. All right. Catherine, you want to practice a little bit of a donkey flip there? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So I would say go breathy at the top. So hold the he a little longer before you go to the
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And that thing that feels like out of control is what you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So it's like
Okay.
the more you feel like Tarzan, we're there. So like Sara, to a certain extent, here I am. So you try that for me. Can you give me here I? So it's literally using the donkey on that phrase on gravity. Here I am.
Here. Oh. Here I.
So let me be clear. Now the I happens on two pitches. Here
Okay.
I. So that's actually what
Okay.
happens. Try it again.
Here I am.
Now, can you exaggerate that? That was it. Can you exaggerate it?
Here. Here I. No, I keep not doing the two notes. Here I am. Okay,
Good.
exaggerate.
Good. No, you're doing great. Now just focus on the I. Can you give me and even more. So go even more wide open breathy at the top, and even more. Almost think like not slam the chords, but close the door at the bottom.
Okay.
Now give me. Now take that sensation. Here I. Good. Here I. So I think the trick is don't anticipate the closure.
That's
So
what I'm
stay
doing.
breathy. Almost like let the closure surprise you.
Okay.
Here
Here I am.
closer.
Closer.
Yeah. So it's just practicing being comfortable with that Tarzan sensation. Yeah.
I should do that.
Try that. Yes. Stay open top. So give me a big sigh, like like somebody has really exasperated you. Good. Now let that go. Yeah. Now let it close at the bottom. Almost like sigh, but then decide you're mad about it again. Did you feel the little? Yeah. That's the sensation that we're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's how you get there. Great. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Do you want to try the Joni map real quick?
I don't know the song really
Okay,
well.
that's okay. Cool deal. Okay, I'm gonna put you back in the thing room. I'm gonna say goodbye to our live streamers, and then we'll get to the one-to-one coachings. And so thank you very much to Amy and Catherine for being willing to step up and be my guinea pigs today to help teach these techniques. Thanks to those of you who are watching online. This is what Rock the Rep is. Every class, we do a different set of 3 cuts that you can use that I'm going to teach techniques just like that on, but they also happen to be cuts that I purposely choose cuts that are lyrically juicy, that could serve you in an audition and that teach you techniques. So if you are a singer whose pop rock audition book is slim and you're like, oh, I need these pop rock techniques, I also need some rep, and you want a class that kills 2 birds with 1 stone, that's what we do in Rock the Rep. So if you're interested in learning more about this class, just drop a comment on this post where you're watching it, and I will send you, actually, we're about to go into some one-on-one coachings where they get to do like the full cut. They're getting to choose. We didn't touch in this coaching here, we didn't touch on the consequences cut, but we're going to do that in the one-to-one coachings. So if you are interested in seeing the one-to-one coachings, you got to be on my email list for that. So make sure that you, again, drop me a comment, say, hey, I would love to see those one-to-one coachings, or I'd love to know more about the next Rock the Rep class. And I changed genres. This past week, we did arena rock, so it was like Journey and Heart and some more things. So yes, Ophelia Creative. Good. I will send you. Happy to send that to you. Thank you guys for joining us. And like I said, let me know. I would love to have you in the next class, and I'll put. Do you want to join my email list so I can tell you what the next cuts are going to be, so that you can get excited? I think we're gonna go kind of Motown era on the next one. So it'll be cuts that are good for like Smokey Joe's Cafe and Beautiful and Ain't Too Proud. And so stay tuned. I'll be announcing those cuts soon. Just make sure you're on my email list so that you know what those are going to be. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again to Amy and Catherine. Amy and Catherine, stick around. We're going to do your individual coachings. All right. Bye, everybody else. Have a great day.